Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome back, everybody. Kevin Jackson. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. I got to tell you, my heart goes out to the folks in Florida because it's just Irma is just pounding that place. And, you know, more loss of life. We've got dozens of people who've died in this storm who should have evacuated. Let's just be honest about it. They should have evacuated. I heard a story. One guy, he's like, man, I will never ride out another hurricane again. Half his roof caved in. He and his family were hunkered down, trying to ride it out. Says, you know, rainy, cold, not cold, but rainy, and you know, the flood waters. And he just said it was a harrowing experience. I can't imagine. And I get it. Look, folks, we believe our homes to be safe, but I know how homes are built. They're barely on a foundation with wood, right? It's a foundation and it's got wood, and you know, it can be just shifted off. It's not. We're not talking about the most sturdy of dwellings. Yeah, it'll withstand quite a bit, but 180-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it just rips the roof right off of things. Talking to a friend of mine, he just they own a hotel chain, and they had just bought a hotel, a Best Western in Orlando, I believe. And he says, you know, these buildings. He says that one of the things he's fighting. He says. Half the roof blew off. He goes, now we hadn't put the roof on. We had just acquired the property, but the roof blew off, half of it. So he's like, it's going to be a gut, you know. So, but it's on a Disney property, and you know they'll build it back. And these guys build amazing hotels. So, you know, I'm looking forward to it. In fact, when I get down there, I'll probably stay at it. But anyway, my heart goes out to him because we broadcast at WGUL and WLSS, one station in Tampa, the other in Sarasota. Obviously, Tampa is being hit a little harder than Sarasota, but our hearts go out to you guys. You know how much I love you because you were my flagship station for a long time, and you know, love the management team down there and everything. So hopefully everything works out, and I can actually get down there and spend some time with you. Anyway, I'm regaling you with leftism today, and I do this every day. I feel like it's nothing new. It's tough for me to get up and get motivated with the stories that come out because it's the same thing. It's nuttiness just moving around a bit. You know, it moves from one location to the next, one gender to the next, one, you know, whatever, sexuality, if you will. So whether we're talking about black folks, black crazy leftists, white crazy bourgeois leftists, LGBT leftists, Latino leftists, it's all leftism, run amok, gone crazy. And, you know, where do you start? Let me give you some ideas. So we got the ESPN anchor who's called the president a white nationalist. We've got what I call affirmative action in fashion involving Michelle Obama. We've got Katy Perry, who's apparently sinking pretty low. We've got a black chick who pushed down an 80-year-old man on a bus. I'm just giving you some ideas. I know where it's the worst city to live in America. Do you? We've got a group of Democrats that now want to give Medicaid to everybody. We've got Hillary Clinton's book, What Happened, and the results. How good is the book doing? Blah, blah, blah. So we got a lot to talk about. And on top of that, we have a professor who's talking about pedophilia. We've got the heels of 9/11 and a host of other things. And I don't even know where to start because there's so much going on. I guess I'll start with the tweet of the day, which came from Black Hannity. That's what the guy calls himself. And it was about Sarah Sanders responding to a question about if President Trump will read Hillary's book. And he quoted her as saying, I think he already knows what happened. So that was a tweet of the day. But we also got Sarah Sanders saying this. And here's the clip of that.
Will the president be reading Hillary Clinton's book? And what does he think about the excerpts that have gotten out so far?
Whether or not he's going to read Hillary Clinton's book, I am not sure, but I would
think that he's pretty well versed on what happened, and I think it's pretty clear to all of America. I think it's sad that after Hillary Clinton ran one of the most negative campaigns in history and lost, and the last chapter of her public life is going to be now defined by propping up book sales with false and reckless attacks, and I think that that's a sad way for her to continue this work.
So we'll get into book sales in just a bit, but what a response. I mean, great response. First of all, why would President Trump read the drivel of Hillary Clinton? She needs to be reading his books, right? I mean, come on, let's get an amen. Yeah, there you go. Shake your heads, boys. Yeah, she needs to be reading his books. The Art of the Deal and, negotiations and branding and things like that. Hillary's got a tainted brand. Come on. If you're a branding person and you look at Hillary Clinton, you're like, woo, we got a lot of work, girlfriend. A lot of work. So she's tainted. And Sarah Sanders is right. Hillary Clinton's claim to fame is going to be all the excuses that have been given for her to lose, except for Hillary to say, you know what? I just screwed up. I underestimated Donald Trump. I overestimated my team. I overestimated the pull of the Clinton name. I overestimated that Barack Obama would be able to help, that his policies would really be able to help me. And be honest with you, we didn't really have a message. My message was don't vote for Trump. I didn't have a message. I was embroiled in controversy. Now, I'm not going to tell you that I'm part of the controversy, but they had me embroiled in controversy. And for whatever, you can look at Benghazi, you could look at all the other things while I was Secretary of State, some of which I own up to. I could have had a better response and not gotten people killed. I could have, but when is a politician falling on the sword like that? It doesn't happen. The closest we get is when we're dealing with Donald Trump and he says something to the effect of, yeah, so I went bankrupt. Yeah, but look at the number of businesses that I helped build that are not bankrupt. So I've got 100 successful businesses and 4 that weren't. It's not bad, not a bad track record. That's as close as you get. And that's why Trump, quite frankly, resonates with people, because I would have had a better response than that. And I said this when Trump made that response, because he threw his investors under the bus. But it worked out for him because people were like, you know what? It wasn't the typical political answer. It isn't so much that he gave the best answer. It wasn't political. And people were craving for somebody to not give me the political answer. Hillary Clinton gives you political answers. All these guys do. They don't want to answer questions. You can ask a question, answer it directly, saying, now look, I get that this is a setup question, but I'm going to answer it directly and give you a qualifier. That way, you're now able to just say, so Kevin, do you think that, going against Russia is this, blah, 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 yes or no? Okay, well, let me just give you the yes or no answer. The best interest of America is always what we do. So, of course, going against Russia is what we should do. But you have to remember, folks, it's a global world. And we can't just rule somebody out because we disagree with their politics or their government or their philosophy. Putin may be a bad guy, but we got to get to the table with him to see if we can at least get our interests met. And that's a good answer.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.